It's time to disagree. It's time for In Your Face. My name's Ben Curtis, alongside Gabe Chernus, Justin Borsis. We got a ton of stuff to get to today, so let's jump right in. The AL MVP race is down the home stretch in the second half of the season. And Justin, let me start with you. There's two guys who are really towards the top. That's Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge. Who do you got?
I have Judge. I think that he is more valuable to the Yankees. I'm not discrediting Jose Altuve's value to the Astros, but when you look at Houston, they have three other superstars in their lineup that have contributed to their 63 or so wins that they have. The Yankees are currently in a wild card position with a semi-weak pitching staff in certain areas, so Judge has catapulted them. And when you look at what writers are going to be voting for, I find that most of the time, a lot of the time, it's less about statistics and more about star power. And right now, who's catching the attention? It would be Judge, in my humble opinion.
Gabe, what say you?
I'm going to totally disagree with you there and do Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve has had a stellar career with the Astros, and this year he has really broken out of his shell. He may be one of three All-Stars that are from the Astros, but I personally feel that he is the best and has shown that throughout the season.
Okay, it'll be very interesting as we head down the home stretch into September in just a few months. Now switching to a sport that starts in September, college football. Gabe, what is the best rivalry out there right now?
Personally, I feel it's Alabama-LSU. That is one of the top rivalries in the game. It always has been, it always will be. They've always been strong programs and always have had a solid rivalry facing off against each other. And nothing can ever beat that, except maybe nothing. Nothing can ever beat it.
Justin?
Mine would be Ohio State, Michigan currently, based on the fact that you got two programs who very well could be in a college football playoff. When you look at Alabama, LSU, Les Miles just left, and that brought a ton of exposure, I think, down for them. They also have lost a lot of recruiting. Leonard Fournette will be leaving at some point in time. Actually has. And I think their programs are in two parallel directions. One's going down. To me, Alabama is steady. But Ohio State, Michigan right now are two programs at the top of their game. The Big Ten is probably the strongest conference, I'd say, with Penn State also sliding in there. And they have two legendary coaches in Harbaugh and Meyer, which makes for a marquee matchup, and people would be watching that.
I have a rebuttal to that. You may think the LSU program is going down, but it's actually not. Alabama is definitely going way, way up. They just are going after an 8th grader right now, which is crazy and should not be allowed. And LSU may have lost Les Miles, but that doesn't mean they're going to stop recruiting high-quality players, 4- or 5-star players like they always have.
All right, gentlemen, we could talk about this all day, but we've got to get to our third topic of the day. Kyrie Irving, the monstrosity that's happening out there in Cleveland. Where does he start in the 2017 season?
I've had enough of them. I've had enough of the whole situation with Irving. I've had enough of it.
Well, where does he go?
He goes to Phoenix. Phoenix needs a player like Kyrie, someone who can teach Devin Booker more skills later on in his career and teach him to be a better player. He's not going to stay in Cleveland. He's done being LeBron's shadow. It's time for his time to shine and time for that whole ordeal to end. I've had enough of it.
Justin?
I actually just read a report on my phone that said he was very interested in the Phoenix situation. I actually think it's just stupid for him to leave otherwise, based on the fact that he's with a team that just went to the finals for 3 straight years. How could you get any better than that, especially winning one? I think if he were to leave, his best situation would be in Minnesota. They have an extremely young core that just picked up Jimmy Butler, who he says he wants to play with. That's number one. And so when you have that, it makes it much easier to transition when you have a guy you want to play with and there's a young team ahead of him that he can mentor and be a part of in their primes over the next few years.
Well, that's why it's called Agree to Disagree, and that's why it's called In Your Face. We got to wrap it up for now. For Justin Borsis and Gabe Chernus, I'm Ben Curtis saying so long and have a good night.